Right, welcome, ladies and gents, to my Moon Knight review. This is episode 5. Episode 5 or 6. Really good. This episode was kind of what I wanted them all to be, actually. Which was a much more serious take on the sort of mental health aspect of the character. Now, a load of people, and rightfully so, a bunch of people are irritated with the lack of Moon Knight in this series. Like, I get that. But episode 5, it was episode 5, did a good job at explaining the dynamic between the two. It gave us our origins of Stephen. And it's a really heartfelt take, I guess, on... Well, yeah, I guess on that trauma. It was wonderfully done. Wonderfully done. But I just wish, and it's not perfect, I just wish this had been established a bit sooner, so we could have felt for the character a lot more. Now, what I mean by that is you've had this kind of Mark character at odds with Stephen for too long. And as a result of that, they haven't been working together. The sort of feel that you get for Mark as a character hasn't been as strong as you would for, say, Stephen, the sort of wimpy British guy. You want to set this emotional connection up with these characters earlier on. It seems weird that they set it up close towards the end. That seems quite odd of a decision to me. But, whatever. I don't make movies. Disney does. So that seemed a bit of a surprise. But it still was wonderfully done. Now, let's break it down. Full spoilers. Okay, I review this on, spoiler filled. So, basically they're in the asylum. And that's what that's the title of this episode. And the asylum is a construct that they've created. They're sort of compartmentalizing their life and setting it to one side so they don't have to explore it so much. It's a form of repression almost. And the god, the big hippopotamus, is there, and it's an Egyptian god, and it's taken them to the afterlife. And Stephen and Mark have to explore their memories to try and balance out their hearts. So, myth and legend would go is that the hearts need to get weighed on a scale. They need to balance out with a feather. Shows that they're worthy to proceed to ultimate paradise, or they get dragged down into the sands, and that's where they remain for all eternity. Now, they start exploring their life, and Mark's pretty edgy about some memories. No, don't look at that. It's just a memory. Don't look at it. Mark is well aware of who Stephen is and how he's created. He's well aware of what Stephen is. Stephen was something which Mark created to deal with childhood trauma. And this is what I mean. This was a really interesting element. I mean, it makes you relate. Not necessarily relate, but it makes you care for Mark. Whereas previously people were like, yeah, whatever. Sure, whatever. Mark is a non-emotional character. But Mark, as a child, took his brother to some cave. His brother drowned and died. It wasn't his fault. It wasn't intentional. It was obviously an accident. They're children. He blames himself. His mother blamed him. And his mother would beat and abuse him. And so Mark created this Stephen character in his head that was a personality so he could escape from, a horrible life. And it became this whole other being. Now, as a result of that, and essentially this gave Mark the opportunity to remember his mother as a nice person. Stephen always talks to his mother. He likes his mother. Doesn't know she's dead, because yes, she's dead. And a few months previous to the events that we see at the start of the episode is when the personalities start bleeding through together. So they start bleeding through together because Mark is told that his mother's dead. He goes to see her at the funeral. Not funeral, Jewish. And he refuses to go in. and he has a bit of a breakdown, and then Stephen comes out. So that's why, that's the linchpin of it all happening. And that gives you really good emotional weight behind both characters, because you feel for them both, because Stephen's life is a complete lie, he's a fabrication of Mark, and I don't know if this is right to the comics, I'm not sure, I don't know. And I would love to know who Jake is in all of this, because that's the third personality, the real nasty one. So I'd love to see how he's created in all of this, probably just more manic nature of Mark. And yeah, it was really good. That was some good emotional weight, but we should have felt that at the start, and we didn't, so that sucks. Now, outside of that, we then get them pairing up. They need to fight off their demons that are going to drag them down to the sands because their hearts have not balanced out. And this gives Stephen realizes he is Mark, and Stephen's like, no, I can do this, I can save Mark because Mark's being dragged down. And all of the commotion, Stephen gets knocked off the boat because they're on a boat, which is obviously on the sands, and he falls in and he solidifies, obviously doomed for all eternity on the sands. And that was sad, but then it allowed Mark's heart to level out, and he's now in paradise, presumably, but he's going to turn that down and go back up to beat the to stop Amit from being released. So a really good episode in terms of our character, sort of building an establishment of these characters for emotional weight. This should have been done a little bit earlier on though, not at episode 5. Episode 5 is way too deep into the series for people to start going. It just should have been a lot earlier on. And I think that's a shame, but the emotional weight and the way that they took it seriously, I really liked, and that was what I wanted at the start. I needed this. This was what I thought the series would be. Not episode 5. We're over halfway through. And that's a shame, and that needs to be called out, because I think that sucks that it's taken that long to get anywhere with it all. But what do you guys think? Are you enjoying Moon Knight? Are you not? Let me know down below in the comment section. For me, I have been enjoying it alright-ish. It's not what I personally wanted it to be, but, I was enjoying it thus far. This was the episode that gave it much more glimmer of promise and hope. So let me know your thoughts down below. If you're new here, do hit subscribe. Thanks so much for watching though, ladies and gents. Have a lovely day. Take care.